welcome everybody. I'm Zsaneta from All Fashion. With me again I have Brian from Debretts, and we will be discussing all things royal in relation to antique furniture and what was the other word?
Association pieces.
Association pieces. Brian, how far back are some of the items in your collection from the royal family?
Probably the earliest would be 1640.
When I say the royal family, we mean England?
That's yes, the English royal family. Our royal family.
Our royal family, okay. Now what is that item?
It's a banquet table, drop-side banquet table. It was made for Holyrood House, the palace, the Queen's residence in Scotland. And 20 years ago, there was a politician in Scotland, a Labour politician, who was very anti-royal family. And he complained bitterly about how much money they were paid, and he called Princess Margaret a kept woman, and he really loathed the royal family. And the roof at Holyrood House was leaking, and rather than the royal family go to the Scottish Parliament and ask for money to fix the roof, Sir Anthony Blunt, who was the Queen's purveyor of pictures, decided they would sell 6 pieces of furniture from the royal collection so they could repair the roof. So my business partner and myself at that time, we went for that sale.
Oh, you just heard along the grapevine that the royals are selling. Oh, yeah. Okay.
So we went to the sale, and he managed to get the court covered, and I got the banquet table.
How much?
A lot of money. Anyway, then 2 pieces came to Australia, 1 piece went to America, 1 piece went to Canada, 1 piece stayed in Scotland, and 1 piece went to England. And the money was raised to pay for the roof. But then this Willie Hamilton attacked the royal family again because they were selling off Scotland's history, so they couldn't win either way. But anyway, the table is now here. That belonged...
That table is Debretts,
No, it's at home.
That's interesting.
I've got some rather nice pair of superb banquet lamps that were made for the palace for the Maharaja of Mysore, who was one of the princes in India, one of the richer princes in India.
And how did you get a hold of them?
Well, it was a South Australian antique dealer went to India, and he even bought the coronation coach. He approached the prince because they had lost their title. They hadn't lost their titles, they'd lost their states and were on a pension, quite an adequate pension, but they'd lost their powers. And some of the more princely states had 5 or 6 or even a dozen palaces, so they'd closed down the city palace.
And you've been to every one of them?
No.
Oh. Wouldn't you be lucky?
Yeah, they closed the city palace and sold the contents, including the coronation coach from Mysore. So the Indian government were outraged and passed a law that things could not be exported from India that had historical significance, but this was already on the seas when that law was passed. So when it arrived, there was a big sale here. Again, I think that was at the Malvern Town Hall, and I bought banquet lamps from that sale. Beautiful pair of superb
Do you
banquet
still have them?
I certainly do. They're on the dining room mantelpiece in my dining room.
Of course. You won't get rid of them?
Another piece I have was made for Versailles, the Palace of Versailles, for Louis King Louis VI. Versailles, the French royal palace.
So you've actually gone to France and purchased this?
I didn't purchase it there, no. What happened was, after the French Revolution, the revolutionaries sold off all the royal collections, and King George IV of England sent agents to France to buy bits and pieces from the French royal collection. One of the pieces was a salon table that went from King George IV to his brother King William IV to his niece Queen Victoria. And when she died, she left it to her granddaughter, Princess Marie Louise. And Victoria, at this stage, had an agent general in England, the ambassador to Victoria, Sir Norman Martin, his name was. And when Princess Louise died, her collection was put up for sale. And Sir Norman bought it in London just after the war. Then when Sir Norman died, his wife put the collection up for sale here, again I think about 15 years ago, and I bought the table there. Here, it was in Richmond, I bought that in a sale room in Richmond. So there are a number of things I have. The association pieces means that the pieces concerned belong to people significant in history. And that's what started my interest in it. You can't meet the people, they're all dead.
No,
but you can meet their descendants, and you can own things that they actually
When you say descendants, now, the royal family, our royal family from England, you've met the Queen?
I
have. Prince William?
Yes.
You've had lunch with the Queen?
Well, you've met 100 other people.
But you've had lunch with the Queen, I haven't.
My wife and I
What was the occasion?
That was when she came here for the Commonwealth Games, and there was a luncheon put on for her at
and you were invited because?
I was invited
of your association?
Because I'm involved with the monarchy. I support constitutional monarchy, and as chairman of the Monarchist League in Victoria, I was invited in this case.
Tell me a bit about that.
Well, it's an organisation that thinks that the present system of government that we have here is the best one. I believe that a constitutional monarchy where you have a monarch, a king, be it a king or a queen, they have no real power, but they stop people from becoming dictators or taking over. So as long as they're there, it's not the power they exercise, but it's the power they stop other people from exercising. You know, you can imagine, look what happened with Idi Amin, look what happens in most of the republics around the world. Murder, chaos. Well, look at Italy, 72 governments since the king was deposed, 72 governments since 1946. It's a lot of governments, and even now they're strife in the court because the president is being accused of this, that and the other, and is before the courts. I mean, I'm not being anti, but I just think that it's much more stable when there is a constitutional monarchy above everybody else.
Totally.
And if they've got a heritage, a history of serving their country, as I believe the British royals have. I mean, Australia has been a monarchy since it was founded in 1788, and I see nothing wrong with the way we live.
Absolutely nothing wrong.
As a consequence, I support the status quo. I think that we should support the Crown, and those families, the members of the royal families that I have met, all have been charming people, admirable. They see their first job as trying to look after their people.
That's good to hear. That's what you want.
Well, in certain areas, for example, Crown Prince Alexander now lives back in Serbia, in the royal palace. He's recognised as Crown Prince, and he's...
Is he the one that didn't want to be recognised as that? Or?
No, I know, he was very happy to be recognised.
Okay.
He's been to Australia too. He and his wife, Crown Princess Catherine, may live back in Belgrade. Romania now has their Crown Princess living back in Bucharest, the capital of Romania.
Okay, Poland, do they have...
Poland had a royal family, but that's long since gone. The Russian Tsars became the kings of Poland.
Okay, because I do know a royal Polish family here.
There's a number of noble Polish families here.
Yes.
But the thing with the Polish aristocracy, and a little like some of the German aristocracy, if you're a prince or a princess and you have 17 children, all of your children are princes and princesses. And if
Unlike
they have children,
the English...
just one. The eldest one is the prince or the duke or whatever it may be.
Well, which one do you think is better off?
Well, in Russia, for example, before the revolution, you could have a prince working as a butler for somebody of much lesser rank, a very wealthy merchant, because there were so many of them, and the money ran out. If you sort of divide in England, the eldest son gets the estate and the main title.
What happens now that Prince William's married? Prince Charles, does he ever become king?
Oh, yes.
And why was it that so it must be just a rumour saying because he's divorced he can't?
Oh, it's just rubbish.
I thought so.
Prince Charles will become King Charles. He'll be King Charles III, and she will be, I imagine, Queen Consort. They say not, but I suspect that Camilla will be the Queen Consort.
Really?
And then Prince William, of course, will become Prince of Wales, and Catherine will become...
his father's?
He's the Prince of Wales now.
Okay.
Yeah, the Prince of Wales is the eldest son of the King, so of course he can't be Prince of Wales yet. He's William Wales, that's what his name is.
That's it.
But he will be Prince of Wales. Catherine Middleton walked into the Abbey as Catherine Middleton. She then married, as soon as she married him, he had just been made Duke of Cambridge, so she became Catherine Duchess of Cambridge.
Will she ever be Queen?
Yes, but she won't be Queen Regent, she'll be Queen Consort, as the Queen Mother was.
Okay, well, that's because she married into the Queen.
The Queen
Mother, didn't she marry?
She married King George VI, but he was the Duke of York. You can only have one king or queen, the Queen Regent or the King Regent. That's the king or the queen. Now, Catherine Middleton will be Queen Catherine, Queen Consort, which means she's only Queen Catherine because she married Prince William. He was born to be king, so he is a king, and she's his wife, so she'll be Queen Catherine. But she won't be Queen Catherine II or Queen Catherine III. She'll just be Queen Catherine. The Queen Consort, and he will be King William IV. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. So there's a ranking. King William IV only because of his...
Well, because of his name. The last king... No, King William V, I take it back. The last King William IV was Queen Victoria's uncle who died in 1837. So there hasn't been a King William in England or anywhere since 1837. So he will be King William V.
Okay.
And Charles will be King Charles III. Because the last monarch called Charles was King Charles II. And I think that's from about 1670. That was the last time there was a King Charles.